definitely tell we're getting close to the end of the liturgical year. The closer we get, the more the warnings are. Be prepared, be prepared, be prepared, we keep hearing. And you can't get more direct than what Jesus is talking about in today's gospel. Many of us sit and wait. We come and we check the box. I'm here at Mass. Most of you are here daily. Every day you're here for Mass. And we check the box and think, okay, that's enough. But because you're here for daily Mass, and even if you're not here each and every day, you know. God has told you. God has asked you. So you're not one of the ignorant ones of your Master's will. You know what it is. We all know because we're here and we're listening. But are we really listening? Are we truthfully doing what God is asking us to do? Or are we checking the box? Father Sam mentioned a word last night last week at the presentation of the National Eucharistic Congress. And it's just been mulling around in my head since last week. He mentioned the word acedia. And acedia is actually one of those severe sins that we all tend to fall into. Now, if you haven't looked it up, acedia is that feeling of, like when you ask the teenager, how did it go at school today? And they respond, it was okay. And that acedia we all fall into. We don't always listen to what it is that God is telling us to do. We try to do the minimum. We don't put any effort into things that we're doing. We come and we check the box. That's especially 21st century America. We want everything easy for us. We don't want to be asked to do anything more difficult. The saint we celebrate today was just the opposite. St. John of Capistrano was governor. He had everything. He had lots of power and he was very just in his decisions as governor. But St. Francis appeared to him and asked him for more. He asked him to become a Capuchin friar. And at being a Capuchin friar, they wanted to test him because they thought, this guy has all the power. How is he going to be a successful Franciscan? So they made it difficult for him. And he continued, and he continued, and he persevered, and he followed through with God's will. And eventually became the inquisitor for all of Christendom, making sure that people were doing the right things. So are we being asked to do something? Are each and every one of us being asked? I know it's hard. I went through a long time. If you remember my story about my formation, my permanent formation, as it was mistranslated in the bulletin at one point. My permanent formation for the diaconate, I stopped. I wasn't listening. And God kept pursuing me and kept talking about the diaconate. So I had to go back and become a deacon because that's what God was calling me to do. So what is he calling you to do? Most of you, I don't think, are called to the diaconate, but he is asking you something. He's asking you to do something, even if it's smile at those that you come to Mass with on a daily basis. Checking in on them. How are you doing today? Do we know the others that are sitting here? I thought it was very sad when Father Sam the other day at morning Mass talked about Ray Simpson, who was a daily Mass attendant, and nobody knew who he was. Do we know that can be enough, that maybe that's all God's calling you to do, to check in on those that you're sitting at Mass with, to smile with them, to ask them how they're doing? Maybe he's asking you for more. Maybe he's asking you to head up a ministry, to start something that we're not already doing here at St. Joseph's. What is he asking you to do? Are you checking the box? Are you saying, that's not me, that's somebody else? But even St. Paul says, I'm the least. And yet he's the one that we mentioned. We read his letters at almost every single Mass. So what is he asking of you? Will you do it? Or will you be that severely beaten one at the end of time?